Screaming like the start of a race. Diet Pepsi's my fuel in this Monday maze. Shake the weekend fog off my tired face. The hustling begins, no time to waste. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Sun clouds up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. We got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Street lights fading, sun climbs up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, I own the show. Know that we can be heavy, but I'm tougher still. Climbing the mountain, fueled by will. Each heartbeat whispers, yes you can. I'm golden, helping every woman and man. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show.
Hey guys, what's up? It is Monday. You know what that means. It means it is Monday motivation kind of night. Welcome in. If you are brand new to my channel, you do not know who I am. I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I'm your host of tonight's Monday motivation, as I am for all Monday motivations. So welcome in. So good to see each and every one of you. Not only do I do Monday motivation on my channel on Mondays, I also do auctions on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and other days. And I also go on other people's channels. So speaking of which, if you have a wrench and you're blue, you can just click on the three dots out to each side of everybody's name. Go and support one another. That's how we grow and everything. So make sure you are supporting each other. Make sure you are doing those YouTube things, that you are subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, that you ring that bell for all notifications so you know when I go live or upload new content, and a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that for tonight, whether you're coming in or when we get done tonight. At some point, if you can hit that thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate that. So, there are lots of great things going on the YouTube right now. So people will jump in as they get the notification or bounce around and so forth. So we'll say hello to those people as they come in. Thank you, Crack and Mary. If you are new, I hope you'll continue to keep on coming back for Monday motivation. And if you're interested, come on over to the auctions and see what that's all about if you have never been. All my OGs, I see y'all popping in. I always love seeing y'all's names pop up in the chat and everything. And, of course, the playback crew. Cannot forget about you guys. If you are the playback crew and you're watching this at a later time, no matter when it is, if you'll let me know that you're the playback crew by just leaving a comment. And if you would like to participate in the chat participation questions for the month that we're in, then feel free to do that as well. I will enter you into the drawing that we have. So, speaking of drawings real quick, guys, next Monday, we will do the drawing for the hashtag winners from the shorts. So if you are new to my channel, I drop shorts almost every day, and I try to put a hashtag in there when I remember. And all you do is comment to the short with whatever hashtag I give you, and you get entered into the monthly drawing. We do that on the first Monday of every month. And that goes from the first of the month till midnight on the last day of the month. So you have until midnight last day. You can watch them every day that I put them and answer with the hashtag. You can watch them all in one sitting as long as it's before midnight on the last day. However you want to do it, it's fine with me. So, and then we will do the chat participation drawing next Monday night as well for the month of October. And again, if you are new, all that is when I say chat participation time, you answer the question, make the statement, whatever it is I tell you, then you get entered to that drawing, and that's always the first Monday of each month as well. And so feel free to chit chat throughout the time that I'm talking and so forth. Just pay attention for when I say chat participation time, and you'll know when it's time to answer. So let's see who all is in chat, and then we'll get started. We got Kraken, very first one. Hey, Kraken, what's up, buddy? We got Kraken Mary here. Hey, Kraken Mary, thank you for sharing me out. I so appreciate that, girl. We got Kathy here. Hey, Kathy, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for sharing. We got Tammy, Dream Chaser, in the chat. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Long time no see. We got Joanne here. Hello, Joanne. Welcome in. Good to see you. Nancy. How you doing, Nancy? Good to see you, girl. We got Glenn. Hey, Glenn. Welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. And we got my favorite brown sugar of all, Karen. Welcome in. Good to see you, Karen. And I think I'm caught up for now. So like I said, people will jump in as they get the notification. If you haven't said hello, come on in and say hello. I promise I won't bite. Not too hard. But anyways, I just like to say hello to those that are watching. Cracking peeps, right? I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. I worked at the flea market all this weekend. It was a busy weekend. Wow, I don't know. That thought just left. It was a busy weekend. And also, I did a couple extra shows this past weekend as well. So it was just a very busy, productive weekend for me. And so we also celebrated Bella's 9th birthday. That was Friday. If you didn't catch the short, go on over and catch the short. We get her a cupcake every year, and we sing happy birthday to her, and I always record it. So let's see. And then that was it. The rest of the time was work, it seems like. So tonight's topic, it is on Goldilocks Rule. What does Goldilocks even have to do with habits? Well, we're going to find out tonight. We're going to find out how to stay motivated in life and at work. But first, here we go. Positive spot thought. The Goldilocks Rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. Like Goldilocks, who tested the Three Bears porridge until she found the one that was just right. Everyone's just right is different. So chat participation time. We are starting out with chat participation time. You did make Bella a birthday video, Kraken. It was so cute. Chat participation time. Who in here has heard of Goldilocks? Anyone? Anybody in here heard of Goldilocks? That's right. Kraken said this means instead of being bored by overly simple tasks, choose material that is slightly beyond your current skill to stay engaged and learn more effectively. Yes. You did your homework already. I'm giving you an extra star for that. We got Kathy saying yes. There goes chat again, jumping on me. We got Joanne saying yes. Kraken Mary says yes. Karen says yes. I just want to be sure y'all heard of Goldilocks and what the whole story was about, right? So in 1955, right after Disneyland opened, Nancy says yes. Right after Disneyland opened its doors in Anaheim, California, A 10-year-old boy walked in with a big dream to get a job. Back in those days, the child labor laws, they were pretty relaxed. He's only 10 years old, and he ended up landing a gig selling guidebooks for just 50 cents each. Within just a year, he made the leap to Disney's magic shop, where he picked up tricks from the seasoned staff. He played around with the jokes, tested them out on people. He tried out simple routines on unsuspecting visitors and everything. But before long, he realized that his true passion wasn't just magic. It was the joy of just performing in of itself. With that revelation, he set his sights on becoming a comedian. And even though you're being funny, Tammy, I'm giving you a star. But he set out on becoming a comedian. Starting in his teenage years, he began performing at small clubs across Los Angeles. And the audiences, they were usually tiny, and his sets were quite brief, often lasting no more than 5 minutes. Most folks in the crowd were more engaged in their drinks or chatting with the friends than paying attention to what was going on the stage. And there was even one night when the kid found himself doing his entire stand-up routine to an empty club. Could you imagine still doing that and there's nobody in there to hear a single word that you said? The work wasn't exactly glamorous, but there was no denying that he was improving. In the beginning, his performances barely lasted a minute or two, but by the time he hit high school, he had managed to stretch his act to 5 minutes. And a few years later, he had a full 10-minute show under his belt. By the age of 19, he was regularly entertaining audiences with a 20-minute set. To fill the time, he found himself reading 3 poems during each show. But the best part was seeing how much his skills were still evolving. For another 10 years, he dived into experimentation, making the adjustments, honing in on his craft as well. He took on a job as a television writer, and over time, he managed to secure spots on talk shows. By the mid-1970s, he had become a familiar face, regularly appearing on both The Tonight Show and Saturday Night Live. And after nearly 15 years of hard work, the young man finally found his stride and became famous. He embarked on an incredible tour visiting 60 cities in 63 days. But he didn't stop there. He followed up with another tour, hitting 72 cities in 80 days, and then 85 cities in 90 days. One standout show drew an impressive crowd of 18,695 people in Ohio, while his 3-day performance in New York sold an astonishing 45,000 tickets. He truly soared to the pinnacle of his genre, and he became one of the most successful comedians of his generation. So chat participation time. Can anyone guess who is this comedian man that we're talking about? Can anyone guess who this person is? And I'm going to give you credit regardless for trying. Joanne, were you Googling? Joanne says, Steve Martin. Hey, Mary, welcome in. Good to see you, girl. So good to see you. Anybody else want to stab at it? Anybody else? Kathy says Chevy Chase. I always have a hard time pronouncing his name. Kraken says Gandhi. Oh, yes. It was definitely Gandhi. Well, I will go ahead and tell you guys because, somebody else came in. Mary George Burns. Well, we'll have to tell you guys that Joanne got the right answer. That's right. Karen says she's with Joanne. So yes, if you guessed Steve Martin, you are correct. Steve Martin's, I know I didn't either, Nancy. Steve Martin's journey provides a captivating look at what it really means to commit to habits over the long haul. Kraken is not rigged. So let's be honest. Comedy isn't for the faint of heart. Like I said, standing on that stage, nobody in the audience at all. It's tough to think of anything scarier than standing alone on stage, desperately hoping for a laugh that possibly can never come. Yeah, I think Robert likes him too. So, you know, the laugh that might not ever come. I mean, I cannot imagine standing on that stage and just hearing crickets. It's hard enough to come on live on YouTube and hearing crickets, you know, let alone being, you know, in person. Yet Steve faced this daunting challenge week after week for 18 years. And he summed it up, I think, just perfectly. He said 10 years spent learning, 4 years spent honing my craft, and 4 years living a wild success. And he was very, very successful. Still is, you know. But why do some individuals like Martin manage to stick to their routines, whether it's practicing jokes, drawing out the cartoons, or playing an instrument, while many of us, we struggle to find just motivation to do it? What's the secret to building habits that keep us engaged instead of fading away from it? Researchers have been diving into this intriguing question for years, although there's still a lot to uncover, believe it or not. One key insight that stands out to them is that to keep our motivation high and our enthusiasm strong, we should focus on tasks that present a challenge that feels just right. Difficult enough to be engaging, but not so tough that we feel overwhelmed by it. The human brain, it thrives on challenges, but only when they're just the right level of difficulty. Think about it. If you are a tennis player or a tennis fan, and you find yourself playing a serious match against a 4-year-old, boredom is going to set in so fast since it is just too easy. You're going to win every point without even breaking a sweat. On the flip side, if you face off against a pro like Roger Federer or Serena Williams, it can be demotivating because the competition is so overwhelming. It's all about finding that sweet spot where the challenge keeps you engaged. Imagine playing a tennis match against someone who's just as skilled as you are. As the game unfolds, you score some points, and then your opponent scores some as well. You definitely have a shot at winning, right? But it's going to take a serious effort in order to pull it off. Your concentration sharpens, all your distractions melt away, and you immerse yourself completely in the game. This situation presents a challenge that's tough enough to be engaging, but not so difficult that it's overwhelming for you. Perfectly illustrating the Goldilocks rules, right? The Goldilocks rule tells us that we're most motivated when we tackle tasks that perfectly match our skill level. They shouldn't be too challenging or too simple, but just the right amount of difficulty to keep us engaged and focused. Because so many times that's where we lose it. Martin's journey in comedy perfectly illustrates the Goldilocks rule. Each year, he added just a minute or two to his routine, and he consistently introduced the fresh material while hanging on to a few tried and true jokes. that always got laughs. He was guaranteed to at least get some laughs, and then he would try out some new ones on people to see how they would, play out. So kind of like, doing these auctions and stuff. We have the great stuff that we know is going to sell, and then we bring some stuff in that we're not quite so sure is going to sell. And then some stuff that we think is going to sell doesn't sell, and vice versa. So, but you always got to keep trying. You got to keep, bringing new items and so forth, and maybe some try and true ones that that's going to sell. But this blend of small wins kept Martin's spirits high, and the occasional misstep pushed him to continually improve. When you're starting a new habit, it's really helpful to make it as simple as possible. This way, you can keep it going even when things aren't so perfect. We went into this in depth while exploring the third law of behavior change. And so if you missed that, I encourage you to go back at the beginning of this series and give it a listen and hear what all those are. We're going to kind of do a review in a couple of weeks on them. But if you kind of want to catch up, that's what I would recommend. Right? Yep. Kraken says managers will often use this principle to assign tasks that push their employees just enough to stay motivated and grow without overwhelming them. Exactly. Hey, Harry, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. There's Selena. Hey, Selena, welcome in. So, once you've built a habit, it's essential to keep making small strides forward. These little tweaks, the fresh challenges, they help you stay engaged and excited. And when you find that sweet spot, which we called it the Goldilocks zone, it's possible to enter a fantastic state of the flow state. A flow state is that awesome feeling of being in the zone and completely engaged in what you're doing. Scientists have worked to put this experience into numbers, and finding that to really get into a flow, that the task at hand should be about 4%, seems so small, but 4% harder than what you're currently capable of. Hey, Tia Nanas, welcome in. Good to see you. So 4%, like that does not seem like a whole lot, but it probably, would be around that. While it's not always easy or even practical to measure how tough a task is, the essence of the Goldilocks rule still holds true. Tackling challenges that are just the right level of difficulty, right on the edge of what you can do. And it appears to be the key for staying motivated. Improvement is all about finding the right balance. You want to keep challenging yourself and pushing your limits, but it's also important to make steady progress to stay motivated. There might be some cracking. To keep things exciting and fulfilling, you need to mix up your activities regularly. If things become too repetitive, obviously boredom is going to set in. And boredom is one of the biggest obstacles on your journey towards self-improvement. So let's look at how to stay focused when you get bored working on your goals. So let's do a quick chat participation time here. Well, who here has done a hobby, or maybe it was a side job that you did, or whatever. Maybe it was a regular job. But who here has done any of those and got bored with it? Anybody? I know when I was in high school and when I came back from college, I worked at a local counseling, and they also had the other side of them was the Families Are Special. It was their adoption side of it. And I did the home studies and typed them up and everything. And I got so bored because I was such a fast typer that I'll be like, okay, what's next? What else can I do? That was one job where I was just like bored out of my mind, that even my boss was saying, well, you can bring, you're coloring this art thing. You can bring that up here and work on that. And I'm like, but that's not what you're paying me for. You're paying me to work, not to bring, artsy fartsy kind of stuff up here to do. So Harry said me. Kraken said me. Mary says, yep. Karen says, yes. Joanne says me. Kathy says me. And Nancy says, no, ma'am. Like, I love doing the home studies, but whenever I would get them typed up, I'd be like, okay, twiddling my thumbs. What do I do next? Mm-hmm. Tia and Anna's, yes. Tia and Anna, Donna said, I have found that when I have turned hobbies into money makers, I lose some of the joy from the hobby, right? And it's so easy to do. So very easy to do. Mary says, at work, I joined every committee. The fire brigade trained new employees, 32 years. Wow. That's awesome, Mary. Selena said, I loved working with mentally handicapped adults, and I was a teacher with boys that were abused. Nancy said, I love to paint and color, but I got to try crochet again. That's the first time it was hard. Lisa D says, me. Thank you, guys. So the questions have been asked before of what's the difference between the best athletes and everyone else? What do the really successful people do that most don't? What is it? When you think about what makes someone successful, you might consider factors like genetics, luck, or natural talent. But in the end, it often boils down to who can stick it out, training day in and day out, repeating the same lift times, time and again, even when it gets tedious. Those are the ones that make it. And you might be surprised to learn that there's a fresh perspective on work ethic. Many people get fired up about chasing their goals, whether it's in business, sports, or the arts. And we often hear phrases like, it's all about passion, or you have to really want it. We've all heard that, right? This leads many of us to feel down when we lose our focus or motivation because we assume that successful individuals have endless amounts of passion. However, a coach pointed out that even the most accomplished people experience the same dips in motivation, just like the rest of us. The key difference is that they find a way to keep showing up, even when boredom or disinterest creeps in. Getting really good at something takes practice. But here's the catch. The more you practice, the more it can start to feel routine and even a bit dull. At first, when you're just starting out, every little bit of progress keeps you excited when you first start out. But as you settle into the groove and know what to expect, that initial spark can start to dim. Sometimes it can even fade even quicker than you think. Right? Helping others stay interesting. That's why I love being up at the flea market, believe it or not. I love being up there working my every other weekend because I meet so many different people, all different walks of life, all different kinds of situations and so forth. And of course, there are some, we have a lot of repeat customers, so we get to grow that relationship with them. But just meeting different people and hearing different stories and so forth. I'm a very people person when it comes, interacting in person with people. Now, granted, I'm not the one that likes to speak first. I like for the other people, to say something first, especially if I'm at like a party or whatever. When I'm working like at the flea market or even at my regular job, I'm kind of forced in that situation. So therefore I deal with it better that way. But I just love hearing the different walks of life, things that people have gone through, how they made it through, all that kind of stuff. I just thrive on that. Selena says, I love my girls, and you know me, I love hard, and if you hurt the people I love, I will hurt you point blank. Kraken said, they can call on a professional, whereas I can only call a friend who thinks they are a professional. Right, Karen? And for me, sometimes it's not even soft music. Sometimes, I mean, it's like any kind of music. If it's something that I really want to work hard, fast on and get stuff done, I can play some fast music, and it makes me actually move faster. So, but yes, good point. Harry says, I've seen a lot of people quit things because they felt like other people was doing it better. But what you got to remember is they started out just like you. Just got to keep going. That's why I like to. That's why I like to tell new resellers coming into reselling, new people coming into YouTube to do auctions. You can't compare your beginning to my middle. You can't compare where you're starting out at where I've been doing this for 6-7 years. You can't compare your starting out to where I'm at. I've always thought that was so very true that someone that's been doing this longer, you can't compare yourself to them. And really, you shouldn't compare yourself at all because you never know where this is going to take you, right? So, yeah, Selena likes to tell people that she tried to quit selling and was vetoed by me. So, true story, though. I said, we'll try this one time, see how it goes. And she's been on ever since. And she's like, okay, well, thanks for having me on. I was like, I'll see you next week. Right, Kathy? I think that's so significant. If you can get that down, that you can't compare your beginning to my middle, no matter what it may be. Reselling, learning a new hobby, work, regular work life, cooking, whatever. You can't compare yourself to where someone else has already been for a while. That's right, Kraken. The only one holding you back is you. Yeah, I think Selena likes to say this stuff just so y'all can, fill her head up, make it bigger than it already is. Right? Karen says, as a reseller, I had to learn to stay in my lane. So what I'm good at selling and not try to do what everybody else is doing, right? Because it never works out. Someone that's good at selling toys, I am not. I am not good at selling toys. Those are good at selling holiday items. I am not good at selling holiday items. It just doesn't work for me. Maybe every now and then, but not regularly. There for the longest, my niche was the trinket boxes. I've kind of gotten out of the trinket boxes, and maybe I need to go back to them. But, I just feel like, there's only so many trinket boxes that everybody needs. Harry says, exactly, you're put in places and do things God has planned for you at that time. Yes. So, again, when you're first starting out, every little bit of progress is what keeps you excited. But, as you settle in, that's when things can start kind of getting a little dull. It's like, okay, same old, whatever. You can make a mean bow. For instance, let's just say you hit the gym consistently for a few days, or you post a few blogs on schedule. It can feel tempting to just let one day slip, let one day slide by. And everything seems to be going smoothly, making it all too easy to justify taking a break because you're feeling good about your progress. By gosh, you deserve it, right? That's what we have told ourselves. We deserve this break. So, chat participation time. Do you find it tempting to skip something because you worked hard at something? Or do you feel guilty if you even think about skipping? Do you find it tempting to skip something because you've been going and going and going, and you've been working hard at it? Or do you feel guilty if you even think about skipping? There are times I have to tell myself, you deserve this, Scooter. You deserve to take a night off. You've been working so hard. First time, I might be able to do it. But then after that second time, it's just like, oh, well, you skipped the other night. You deserve this. Let's do another night, and it's just, then next thing you know, it just has become a big snowball effect. Snowball, is that the right word? The rolling snow down the hill, whatever. Y'all know what I mean. Selena says guilt city, right? Karen says yes. Harry says feel guilty. Lisa D says yes. Great. I'm not the only one. Karen says, and I don't feel guilty when I skipped it. Joanne says, I feel tempted, right? It's just like, I don't feel like it. Nancy said, I would feel guilty for wanting to skip, right? Kathy says, it depends on what it is. Yes. Mary says, it depends on my physical capabilities. Sometimes I can, sometimes I need the rest, right? Because, we do need to pay attention to when our bodies are saying, you're pushing it way too far. You need to skip tonight or skip that workout or whatever. It's hard for me to even miss work. Like, I've got to be throwing up, bleed, literally contagious, whatever, in order for me to skip work. It is so hard for me to miss a day of work. I take my vacation time because it's either there or it's not, and it's like, well, I'd rather have vacation time than not to have it. So, but like I cannot even, my stepdad always said it was great to take mental health days, to take a break, which is where I think vacation, usually plays in. But like, I can't even think of anytime I think, well, I'll just call Matt and tell him I can't make it in today. My head's hurting, or his biggest thing is throwing up. So I know if I ever wanted to fake sick, that's all I got to say is, well, I threw up, But I feel guilty if I even think about that, because I'm like, you're really fine. You're just having a rough morning. And if you go to work and get into the work, then you'll, forget everything that's going on. Kraken says, always find it tempting to do it, but then I think about who else it will affect. Yes, exactly. When I was pregnant with Harley, I would get sick. And of course, you ladies, sorry men, but you ladies know that if you get sick when you're pregnant, you lose all muscle control as far as getting sick and other issues. That I would go home, change clothes, and come back to work. Like, I just would not miss. I never want anybody to just tell me that, well, she hardly ever shows up, she's not committed, whatever it may be. That's me too, Mary. Like, I don't want to waste a sick day and then not have a sick day when I really need a sick day. Joanne says, I was the same way when I worked, but my mom is the one who I got that from. Even when I'm sick, I feel guilty for missing. Yes. Unless it's the flu. I had the flu one time, and I did not care that I was missing work. I just wanted to sleep all day, and I did that for about a week. That's probably the most rest I've ever gotten in my life. So I know people will tell me, well, Scooter, take the night off. Some of you that are in chat right now knows that you told me that. Selena said, crap, it takes a lot to miss selling with Scooter. I've been stoned from surgery, but still went on because this crazy girl named Scoot I can't say no to. I'm like, Selena, just take the night off. It's okay. If you're sick, you need a rest. And she's like, no, I'll still be there, Scoot. But we all know if we miss one, then the second miss will be a little bit easier to do. And then the next one will be easier to do. And that before we know it, we're not committed to it anymore. And luckily, if we're still doing it. And that's why Monday motivation is so very important to me. I could easily skip a Monday here and there because I don't make anything doing this. It's just me spending time with you guys. And that's it. I don't make anything from doing this. But you guys are so important to me. And a lot of you have said how Monday motivation has changed your life, literally. So I can't let you guys down, or the future people that will be coming in here that might show up, and hopefully something changes their life as well for the good, for just a small little Monday motivation night, So that's why Monday motivation is so important to me, and it's so hard for me to skip, and I try to stay fully committed to it. Also, I really enjoy doing this as well. It's never boring, because boring can kill that passion for something, no matter how good it is. The biggest barrier to achieving success isn't failure. It's not failure that keeps you from achieving success. It's actually boredom. We can often get tired of our routines, and when the results become predictable, we just lose interest in it. As our daily habits turn mundane, we might find ourselves straying from our goals in search of something fresh and exciting. This might explain why we tend to hop from one workout to another, switch diets frequently, or juggle various business deals, because we just aren't happy. We're bored at what we're doing. At the slightest hint of dwindling motivation, we chase after new strategies, even when the previous ones were still effective. Machiavelli, however you say his name, he had it right when he said, people crave new, so much that even those who are succeeding won't change just as much as those who aren't. Make it new and exciting. I like it better when something's new, not old. New and exciting. See, this is why I can't say no to the crazy girl. He's only crazy girl. Thank you, Mary. Oh, thank you, Joanne. And the daily check-in too. Nancy said, what encouragement that may seem small may become huge from adding up the encouraging words, right? Thank you, Nancy. That's so true. But maybe that's why so many of the most addictive products keep us coming back for more and more and more, because they offer endless surprise. Take video games, for example. They captivate us with their visual excitement. And then there's the sexual thing that, it brings a fresh wave of sexual appeal. That's why mostly men get addicted to it. And let's not forget about junk food. It tempts us with these tasty treats. Each of these experiences continuously surprise us, keeping our interest alive. In psychology, we refer to this as a variable reward. One of the best examples for you guys, and some of you will know what I'm talking about, is the slot machines. Who here has played slot machines? A gambler might hit the jackpot ever so often, but there's no way to predict when it will happen. The timing of these rewards is inconsistent, which causes a significant increase of the dopamine levels. This not only boosts memory, but it also helps to form habits more quickly. Let's see. Selena said, I'm the one talking. What helped me is the Smash Room. I highly recommend it. I love a mean crowbar, right? Yes, that sounds so good right now, Harry. I wish I had some cheesecake now. Right? I love bingo, Mary. Now, slot machines, I can get by without, but bingo, I love me some bingo. Bingo is so much fun for me. I'm definitely getting old. But variable rewards alone will not spark cravings. In other words, if someone isn't interested in the reward, giving it to them inconsistently won't change their feelings. However, when it comes to cravings that we already have, the variable rewards can really boost them by keeping the boredom at bay. The ideal balance of desire lies in a perfect mix of success and failure. Think of it as a 50-50 split. You achieve what you want half the time, while the other half brings a little disappointment. The blend of winning and yearning is what gives us satisfaction. It keeps our desires alive. It's all part of the Goldilocks Rule, where challenges that are just right can make your journey enjoyable. If you're already excited about forming a new habit, tackling challenges that are easy to handle can keep things fresh and engaging. Not every habit needs to involve a surprise reward. And honestly, you probably prefer that too. Yeah. I mean, think about it. If Google only gave us useful searches, useful search results. Part of the time, we'd be looking for alternatives in no time. If Uber only showed up for half our rides, we wouldn't stick with them for long either. If we brushed our teeth every night but ended up with a clean mouth only sometimes, I think we'd just stop doing it altogether then, right? Whether you get some surprises or not, every habit eventually loses its charm. At some point, we all encounter the same hurdle on our path to personal growth, learning to embrace the mundane, the boredom. Kraken says, I've noticed that as long as I'm on the move, I'm finding happy. But once I sit down, I can't keep my eyes open. Right? Yes. I can't remember when it was. The other day, I was sitting there in a chair and I was just wanting to close my eyes and take a quick nap. And so I just keep rocking so Robert doesn't know I'm falling asleep. And he's like, I hear you over there. I'm like, well, I've sat down, start rocking, and, literally make myself sleepy because I stopped. So we all have goals and dreams that we want to chase. But here's the truth, guys. Here's the truth. If you only put in the effort when you feel like it or when it's easy, you won't be consistent enough to see truly amazing results. It's the commitment to keep going, even when it's tough, that helps you achieve what you aspire to. I promise you that there will be days when it feels tempting to give up once you establish a habit and try to stick with it. There are going to be those days. Starting a business, you'll definitely have days when you don't want to show up. Hitting the gym, there will be sets that you prefer to skip. If you are doing your journaling, the journaling time, some days writing might feel like the last thing you want to do. But it's pushing through those moments, even when it's frustrating, even when it's tiring, or just plain tough. That's what truly separates the pros from the amateurs. So chat participation time. Do you consider yourself a professional or an amateur when it comes to getting things done, whether it's business or personal? Do you consider yourself a professional or amateur when it comes to getting things done? Whether it's in business or personal life. And we're going to go over that. Joanne says amateur. Sorry, chat jumped on me again. Nancy says amateur. Karen says in between. Pushing through those moments when it's frustrating, tiring, or tough is what separates the pros, the professionals, from the amateurs. So do you consider yourself a professional or an amateur? Is the chat participation question. Some of you are probably going, well, I don't know what you're saying, Scooter. Mary says, not professional. Kathy says, when I worked, it was professional. Not working, then amateur. Gotcha. You see, professionals stick to their plans, while amateurs often let distractions pull them away. Professionals understand what really matters to them and pursues their goals with intention. On the other hand, amateurs can get sidetracked by life's unexpected demands. Mary says, a work in progress. Kraken says, I'm always going to feel like an amateur, but as long as I know I did my best, I'll be okay. Love it. Lisa D says amateur. David Kane, an author and meditation teacher, inspires his students to avoid what he calls fair weather meditators. You know, fair weather fan. That's what Robert has called me that a couple of times. The same principle applies to being an athlete, a writer, or or pursuing of any passion that you might have. If something is truly meaningful to you, it is essential to stick with it, no matter how you're feeling. Real professionals keep pushing forward, even when they're not in the best mood. They might love their craft, but they know how to show up and put in the effort consistently. Mary says, professionals do what they have to do. Failures do what they feel like doing. Love it, Mary. Good job. Love it. You know, I've often found myself not quite in the mood to do my Monday motivation notes, the notes. Yet I've never once regretted pushing through it. I've been doing this going on 3 years now. Sorry, going on 4 years. Coming up on 4 years in February. Wait, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, 4 years. Wow. Doesn't even feel like it's been 4 years. Anyways, there have been many times I didn't feel like doing another auction, but I've always been glad that I did. And sure, there have been plenty of days I just wanted to take it easy, not go to work, or work on my side business, or even working on my side business. Just want to take it easy. But I've never regretted dedicating myself to something that truly matters to me. Isn't that crazy, Nancy? And some of y'all been here the whole time. I was thinking it was just been 3 years, coming up on 3 years. No, I missed a year there. There are days I feel that way too, Mary. Yes. Thank you, Kraken. We're about done here. You're good, buddy. To achieve excellence, you need to embrace the repetitive nature of practice. It's all about finding joy in doing the same thing time and time again. So learn to appreciate those seemingly dull moments. They're crucial for your growth, and they're just right. All right, let's review quickly here. Number 1, tonight we learned that the Goldilocks Rule states that humans experience peak motivation when they're working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Number 2, we then covered that the greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. Third, we discovered that as habits become routine, they become less interesting and less satisfying. We get bored. Number 4, that anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. It's the ability to keep going when work isn't exciting that makes the difference. And lastly, professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. And that, my friends, is it. What a way to start off with Monday Motivation for the Week with Goldilocks Rule. I love doing this notes for tonight. I hope you gained something useful out of tonight's topic as well. Lisa D said, every episode I've gotten something to grow on, and I appreciate every Monday Motivation, Scooter. Oh, you're so welcome, Lisa. I think you've been here almost pretty much from the start. Yeah, it's good stuff, especially when all y'all are participating. It makes it that much more enjoyable and everything. So real quick, tomorrow night I will be on at 7:30 p.m. Central for the live auction of Slightly Unhinged, Sanity Sold Separately. Wednesday night I'll be on at 7:30 p.m. Central for our midweek madness sale. Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central we'll be here again for another Guess That Guest live auction. Right, Lisa? I can't believe it, Lisa D. Next Monday Motivation, on episode 144, we will be discussing the downside, because there is a downside of good habits. So what can the downside of good habits be? You got to come on back and find out next Monday at 8 p.m. Central. We will also do the drawings next Monday for the chat participation and the hashtags. So want to be back for that. We only have next week and the week after of this series, and then we're moving on to the next exciting series that I think we will all need. And I cannot wait to share this with you guys more. I might share with you next week what the new series is coming up. So if you want to be able to participate, follow along, you'll know where I'm taking this stuff from. So I'll either do it next week or the last week of this series. We'll do it. But make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe, you ring that bell for all notification, and a thumbs up on your way out tonight. Make it a great week. If I don't see you somewhere around the YouTube, remember the Goldilocks Rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of the current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. Now let's do this thing. Good night, everybody.